strategy has absolutely been printing for me over the last 3 months. We are up 80, almost 84%, $10,000. We've basically doubled this 10K portfolio into $22,000. And I've been working on this. I've been back testing it. And then just recently, this past week, we started posting the options setups and the option trades inside the High Five Collective. And we did a 15% week. 15% week. We have a $22,000 account. And we just brought in $3,000 just this week alone. Today, we're slightly up $149. Yesterday, we had 3 losses, but we still ended the day up like 300 and some bucks because we are being very risk adverse because this is the option realm. Now, we just got into these new CoreWeave trades, and I wanted to talk about that in today's video. I want to break down the actual strategy that I'm using. That way you understand it going forward when I'm posting these trades. Now, Microsoft, we still have till August 21st. We just trimmed one of these today for about 40%. Zeta, we've been trimming some of these. We had like 12 or 15. Now we're down to 6. And we still have till the 24th. And those are up 28%. And a couple $100 here and there really starts to add up. You all know that we got Snowflake, Intel, Penguin. A lot of these names we just crushed it on this week. So let's get into the actual strategy so you guys understand what's going on. Now, there's 2 parts of the strategy. One is Voltaic IO. Now, if you want 35% off, you can get 35% off right now. You get a 2-day free trial, 35% off, and that's for 2 full months at that 35% off. I will leave that linked in the bio below, or I'll post it somewhere for you guys to get access to that with the link that I share. Now, the reason Voltaic IO is so great is because you have flow, you have these volt maps which show you the volts, and volts are like magnets. I'm not going to go too in depth in all this. Maybe I'll do a different video, go more in depth. But this is part 1 to this strategy. But the more important part to me is the actual charts, right? So we obviously know we're all about the bull triggers and we're all about the bull trend. That is our long-term trading strategy. Now, there's 2 different ways I'm going to get into one of these option trades. One is we have a weekly, so let's get an example here. Intel is a really good example. So Intel turned around, but it doesn't matter because we made our money and then we got out. So it doesn't matter. Intel, we had this breakout here. And so we got in and we rode it up to here. So we went in here and we rode up to here. This is a weekly uptrend after a bull trigger. So we have an uptrend on the weekly. We have a bull trigger. We have our Williams consolidation bullish box on the weekly. That's all good to go. And then we come down to the daily time frame. We said, oh, okay, well, guess what? We're breaking out here and we run this thing up. We got to our 140 target. We did not get to our 150 target before it shot back down. But it's okay because we took out our profits. We were not greedy. So, number 1 way is I'm looking for a weekly uptrend and a reacceleration of the daily. If I get that, and then I go over here to the volt maps, right? And then I'm seeing that a volt or a magnet is pulling the stock higher. Exactly how it was doing on Intel this week. I don't know if it's still going to show. It's not going to still show. We can come on over here to replay maybe. Let's see. I want to do, can we do, let's do, when did I buy that? The 29th maybe? 150, look at that. June 29th, we had a 150 volt. 150 volt and 150 ceiling. So the volt was pulling to 150. Well, what was that again? June 29th, June 29th, June 29th, right here, June 29th. So we were down here in the 120s and the volt was pulling to 150, guys. Now we only got up to 142, but that doesn't matter because we obviously saw that we had this bull trend higher. We had the flow, the matrix going higher and a bull trigger here. So we were sitting there like, hey, let's get in, let's get our profits. it started to turn on us, we got out. That's it. So weekly uptrend, daily re-excelling uptrend, or coming back and maybe like bouncing here, right, off the daily and catching these pops, right? And then having a volt like 150 pulling price higher for the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? So basically the next few weeks, the volts are saying pulling the price higher. Now the second way we're going to do this. Now, the good thing is the second part of this volt map and everything, that stays the same. We're still looking for volts to be pulling price higher, like a magnet. So price is down here and the magnet's up here, and it's just trying to pull the price towards it. That's what these volt maps are for. That's what all this options data is for, the GEX, the VEX, the flow, all of it, guys. That's what this is all about. It's showing you the put walls, the call walls, the levels, where people are putting their money in the options market. So that's going to stay the same. But the second way, part of this strategy that you're going to see me taking trades is this. CoreWeave. Let's talk about it. CoreWeave. Now, I'm going to get rid of all those bull triggers. I'm going to get rid of the bull triggers. I'm going to get rid of the trend down here, or the matrix down here. I'm going to get rid of all that. Okay. I said that and then I didn't. There we go. I'm going to get rid of all that because honestly, this part of the strategy is not reliant on momentum. It's not reliant on bull triggers, bear triggers. It's strictly reliant on catching snapbacks. Now, what is a snapback? A snapback is when you have a price getting yanked down like a rubber band, and then when you let go of that rubber band, it snaps back, right? A snapback is exactly what it sounds like. And when we look at a chart, even if we are in a downtrend, so right now, technically, CoreWeave is in a downtrend, correct? But guess what? When it pulls back a little bit too much, we snap back. Pull back a little too much, we snap back. Pull back a little too much, we snap back. Pull back a little too much. Are we going to snap back here? I think we are. I think we are, friends. Now, it's not just that easy. It's not just like, oh, it pulled back X amount, like blah, 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 like it's going to snap back. No. That's not what it's about. What it's about is my favorite indicator, the Williams percentage range. The Williams percentage range, baby. You guys know I love this indicator. All my strategies are built around it, basically, including a couple other things, but the majority of things are built around the Williams percentage range. And with the Williams percentage range, what have I always said? Green barrier, red barrier. Now, you're going to hang out up near the red barrier more than you're going to hang out near the green barrier. Why? Because markets go up and to the right over time. So when you get down to the green barrier, you do not stay there very long at all. And because of that, my friends, is the time to be trying to snag a snapback. And now if you try to snag a snapback with these short dated options, like our options are for 1 week out at 20% of our total position. So we do a 5% position per trade, maybe up to 10%, just depends on how we're feeling. But typically 5% of our total portfolio in one position, options position at a time. Out of that 5%, I'm going to do 20% 1 to 2 weeks out, and then another in the 80% of that 5%. So the bulk of that majority of that position is going to be 2 to 3 weeks out, maybe 4 weeks out, just depending on how we're feeling, right? And what we're seeing. So that is like the whole risk management about it, is that you're not, going super heavy and like one loss, you're done. Okay. You're going 5% per position. You're going the same size every single time. And then as your portfolio grows, like from 10,000 to 20,000, you're going to be able to do 5% is going to be more than what it was when it was at 10,000. You get what I'm saying? So anyways, to the strategy. So the first strategy is clear uptrend on the weekly, and reacceleration on the daily, or a bounce point, like going back into the trend and having a nice bounce area with volts higher, or you come down to the green barrier. Now, what happens down at this green barrier? And remember what I always say, the higher the time frame, the more likelihood that it's going to come to fruition, right? So what I'm seeing on CoreWeave, all right, stick with me. I know this is going to be a little confusing. I'm going to try to make it very simple. When we get down to the green barrier, we typically get some sort of a pop that next few days or weeks. Okay? So bear with me, right? And then sometimes when we hit the red-green barrier, we come down another day or two and then we pop. So it's either a short-term pop, right? For like a decent bit of percentage, short-term pop, and that's where you're going to trim and get out majority position, and then you're going to see if it keeps going. If not, then you already made your bag. But if it turns back, then you're good, and you already made your bag. You can get out at a good stop loss. Anyways, that's getting into the nitty-gritty. Green barrier, when you end on a green barrier, you might go down a little bit more, but then look at this. 2 days later, you were higher than where you entered. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 or 5 days later, you were even higher. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 days, you were even higher. So 10 days, that'd be about 2 weeks. So you went from 69.27 up to about 87 to 91. That's about, let's see, that's about, 25 to 30%, guys. Guys, 25 to 30% move in the share price when you got weekly, 2 week out, 3 week out, 4 week out options, you're making a bag. You're making a bag, hundreds of percent, guys. So that's what we're really aiming for. Now, okay, this was just one time, right, Ronnie? No. Here's another time. Here's another time. This is close, but I like it to be like very, very close, like below 96. This time was like 92. It worked there. But again, I like it to be down here in the dumps, right? Below 96. So here we ended, where we close here. We closed 95.61. We went down to 91. And then literally, so you had to deal with 1 day down. And then the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you were up, up, up. So these are snapbacks, guys. Snapback, green barrier, oversold, snapback. Green barrier, oversold, big reversal. Green barrier, oversold, snapback. Green barrier, oversold, reversal. Green barrier, oversold, snapback. A snapback is simply, it's staying in the downtrend because it comes back lower. A reversal is obviously, it completely reversed off that spot. This is a snapback. This is a complete reversal. This is a snapback. Could this one be a full reversal? Maybe. Could it be a snapback? Maybe. But let me give you even more clarity. More clarity. So before I go into the weekly chart, this is the strategy right here. You wait for the green barrier, and then you look for those snapbacks. But only if the volt is saying that that the price could be pulling it higher. You also have the 200-day moving average right here at $100. And $100 is going to be a level that you're going to want to remember, because $100 might just be where the volt is a couple weeks from now. So the weekly. Okay, so we got the weekly. We got the daily and the green barrier. Okay, and this is going to give us either a reversal or a snapback. Most of the time. It's not perfect, right? So in here, we hit the green barrier here. We did have a little hit up from 87.47 to 93. Again, you would have exited and got your money, or, trimmed some. But then after that, we went way down. So one time it didn't work, but all these other times, a couple of days here, and then it snapped back. So one time it didn't work, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other times it did. So 5 and 1, pretty good odds. And you guys have seen me use this for the markets, calling local bottoms or hard bottoms. Really, I'm just like, it's either a local bottom or a hard bottom because we don't know. We're just going to have to wait and find out. But this is the time that we could get a bottom, local or hard, right? Local is a snapback. Hard is a reversal. Okay. So, want to see something interesting? What'd I say? Daily is all over the place. Daily is crazy. The snapbacks and the reversals and stuff, the green barrier still works like a champ. But what if I told you that we were at the green barrier on the weekly? What would you say then? Because I would tell you, when you get to the green barrier on the weekly, whoo-wee, that's when things get really fun. Because this stock has only been around since March 2025. Look at this. We got the green barrier here. And then we snapped back up a little bit. But guess what? 1 month later, we were higher. We got the green barrier here. And then guess what? We snapped back up a little higher. And then just 3 weeks later, we were even more, we were higher than where we entered. Green barrier here, almost. And this was a straight, this was the last week. And then we were fully reversed the next 3 weeks, a lot higher. And here we are again. Green barrier. I need some water. Green barrier. At the volume shelf, if you did a fib retracement level from these lows, the fib retracement level gets you a smart money zone at 79.87 to 85.88. So I can honestly see this going down to 80 or maybe sweeping this low before we go higher and have our snapback or full reversal. We don't know yet. But again, you kind of start tying things together. Daily's at the green barrier, weekly's at the green barrier. Is this for sure going to be a perfect bouncing spot? Maybe. Maybe we have another day or a week of down. Or maybe we get a snapback and we take some profits. We don't know. But what I'll tell you about this strategy and me using it for the past 3 months and just understanding the winnings percentage range for a very long time now. Like, been using the winnings percentage range for probably like 4 or 5 years or more. I really understand this indicator. It's going to give you this more times than it doesn't. Meaning, this is going to go our way more times than it doesn't. And I could pull up any single chart and I'll show you this. And then you add in fib retracement levels, volume shelf, you add in that the weekly is, guess what? The weekly is at the green barrier. And it was at the green barrier yesterday. So now it's at the green barrier yesterday, and then it came down today, very, very oversold. And this is where next week we could just bounce right back to the 100. And why is 100 so significant? Well, if we go over to Voltaic and we go to the 1 month, guess what? We're currently at 82. There's a giant put wall at 80. So I'm sitting there saying, okay, I got in at like 81 something. There's a put wall at 80. So something's sitting there and kind of like holding me up. It's going to be pretty hard to get through that put wall. But there's also a put wall and a coil, which is like similar to a volt, but smaller at 85. So we are closer to 80 than we are 85. So I could see a push up to 85. And then we see here that on 7/10 expiration next week, we have a volt of 80, right? But we have a surge, which means surge is like a volt, but it's just more like this week or last week's options trading. So basically a smaller pool of data. And that's telling us $90. So this is why I think, okay, the downside is limited at 80. We're at the green barrier on the daily. We're at the green barrier on the weekly. I mean, I think we're almost at the green barrier on the monthly. Yeah, I mean, we're almost at the green barrier on the monthly, guys. We're at this low on this monthly chart that's held 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and we're right there. Could we have an explosive bounce? Plus, you have all this sentiment around Nebius and Meta coming out with their data center, blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's when stuff typically bottoms, and then it has these violent snapbacks when buying pressure starts coming in. Also, people that are shorting this stock, they're going to want to take profits. So the people that are shorting this stock and they want to take profits, guess what? They're going to cover their shorts. And if they cover their shorts, that's buying pressure. And then once they start covering their shorts and there's buying pressure, guess what happens also? People start piling into the stock, and that's more buying pressure. And that's where you get this move from 80 to 85, 95, and then 100. And last thing I'll say, this Volt for 717, just 2 short weeks away, which is 80% of our options right now, as I told you, right? 80% of our options is at $90 for July 17th. Guess what? July 17th, there's a $100 Volt and an $85 surge, pulling the price higher towards that 200-day moving average right here. So, yeah, the put wall is right here at 80. There's a lot of things going our way, just my overall knowledge of trading and sentiment and everything like that. We could have a big snapback week next week. 85's first target, then 90, then 95, then 100. And, we start breaking through these levels, and then if we start losing those levels again, then, I'll just get out of these trades. But right now, we're already at 5% on the July 10th, which that's going to move all around. But yeah, guys, I really like it. I really like it. And then you also have this support right here, all this support down in here. So yeah, I really like it. That's the strategy. So either one, like similar to Intel, you already have an uptrend on the weekly, and then you go down to the daily and you're looking for a reacceleration, a new bull trigger, a big bounce spot off the trend, right? Off the trend. Or you're simply looking at something on the green barrier that can get hype around it very easily, like a data center name, and you're simply sitting there saying, okay, am I going to hit every single time on this? No, but there's lots of confluence here. Green bear on the daily, green bear on the weekly, at the smart money zone, on the fib level retracement. It's at a volume shelf. It's in a very oversold and beaten down sector, and you have Nebius already bouncing back. Nebius got down to 209, 208, and it's already starting to bounce back. So don't you think CoreWeave might follow suit? And then finally, you have the Volt at 100 in the options market saying like, "Hey, we want the price up here." So yeah, that is the strategy. That is what we will be doing going forward in the small account challenge. Yeah, I really like this strategy. It's been working out, like I said, very, very well for us. Over the last week, 15% up. Over the last 3 months, I'm 83% up. Doing very, very well. Sometimes, yeah, I mean, some of these are going to go to zero. Like we will have some that go to zero where it's like we're already 60% down. And then at that point, you might, like sometimes whenever you're 60, 70% down, it's better off just to hold through and see if it can snap back for you, especially if the thesis is still there. But it's really about, if it's not going our way and it starts going against us, getting out quickly. If it is going our way, not being greedy. That's how we're going to compound this. That's how I've been able to compound this from like 10K to 22K. Okay? So, or 12K to 22K, whatever. Like that's how I've been able to compound this. Not being greedy, getting the best possible setups, and having all the confluences aligning together. And then you just play those cards. Play those cards, and we're going to have some losers. Like I said, we lost in DRAM yesterday. So DRAM, who else? DRAM, we got into AAOI and Nokia. They all took a crap yesterday with semis. But we sat there and got out pretty quickly, 30 to 40% loss. But again, we ended the day green because we were in Microsoft and Zeta because we knew those are inverse of semis right now. And if semis are going down, that means software is going up. And so it's also about managing the portfolio correctly. So that's the strategy, guys. If you have any questions, of course, you can hit me up in the Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, you can join the Discord, highfivecollective.org. You can see everything we're doing there, and you can get access into the Discord also. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great 4th of July weekend. Take it easy.